Well, I'm live after 20 minutes of bullshit. Oh my god, the camera is still jittery and freaking artifacts and shit. I don't understand, even for me, how I can spend $120 at Blix without batting an eye, but I can't sit down and spend fucking $50 on a webcam that was made in the past decade. Welcome to Whiskey and Painting. Oh my god. There's a reason why I upgraded my main system. Last year, I think? Year and a half ago. Studio computers, at this point, as much as I love Windows 7, this thing's legacy at this point, and everything is broken all the time. I don't understand. Anyway, I started an Instagram live thing like an hour ago, streamed for like 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm going to go to YouTube because this will be better. And every time I try to stream from the studio, it's like, why did I try to do this? It's so much harder down here to do this. Like I have stuff ready to go that all I have to do is just switch a profile and hit go. In my office, because that's where I do all my recording and streaming and everything anyway. Because I'm on Twitch every Tuesday, but I don't know why. Like every time I'm streaming, like, let's just stream real fast. Like, no, you have to update like 6 billion drivers, and all your software is out of date because you don't do this on a regular basis down here. Just buy an Intel NUC and be done with it. Alright. So I'm like halfway through highlighting these clouds. So I'm doing this tonight in place of my weekly studio vlog, or bi-weekly studio vlog, I should say. And I'm specifically doing this in place of the bi-weekly studio vlog because this weekend is going to be fucking beautiful. And I will likely not have time to paint. Like, as soon as I get up tomorrow, I'm probably going straight into working into my my gardens, house planters and such, because my back vegetable garden I did last weekend. And I was looking at the weather, and I'm like, tomorrow morning I'm probably going shopping, and then as soon as I'm done with shopping, it's gonna be eat, and then go work in the garden for about 6 hours. Because I don't have anything pre-recorded, I will not be doing any kind of painting, most likely. So I wanted to put my studio time in tonight, because I know I likely won't be doing it. It's going to depend a lot on what I get done tomorrow, if I will have studio time Sunday. Also, there's a big regional art event happening tomorrow, which I registered for, but I honestly probably am not going to put my painting in it. Well, one, because literally everything I have that I want to put in the show is already at the gallery, which is a weird artist problem to have. Like, oh, I want to put a piece in the show. Like, all of the things I would love to put in the show exists in a different place right now. So I would have had to have in advance go and gotten a piece from the gallery, brought it back here for them to put it there for a day and a half, and then come. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyway, the event is Art All Night. I have a video on the channel from I think 2013, which was one of the better years that I did that. It was one of the events that kind of got me into the professional market and started doing stuff. And it's just weird. Like, this is after the past 2 years of it being virtual, which I don't even understand how that happened. It's finally in person again. I was super excited, but now it's like, I don't have time. I really don't. There was actually a big pop-up thing in the city tonight that my gallery was a part of. Like, it would have been 3 or 4 years ago. What happened tonight would have blown my mind, and I was a part of it. And now it's like, I'm not against it, the thing, but it's like I would have had to take a half day of work, park in an area of the city that I don't want to park in long term, and just it's like again like what my former art teacher said in the interview from last week, as a form of artistic prostitution. It's like I'm done with doing that. You know, I'd rather sit in my studio and paint, and you know, what opportunities come my way. Like I'm not as willing to spend 8 hours, like 4, 6, 8 hours, trying to promote one small painting in a massive group show. The way I was willing to do that several years ago, and not that there's anything wrong with that. But like after, you know, I would say roughly now 10 years of doing this professionally, it's like you got to pick and choose your battles. And right now, I would love to go to that show. I might go to that show. But as far as splitting up my day, like the weekend's beautiful. I've got tons of shit to do around the house. It's like I'm not sacrificing that to spend an hour sitting in traffic to drop off a painting that probably won't sell anyway. So it's like not worth my time, honestly. I'd rather spend it fixing my garden, painting these clouds. Well, I'm painting the clouds tonight. Finishing this painting, starting another probably 2 this weekend, I'm hoping. Honestly, when the weather's real nice, like it has been the last couple of days and is going to be, for my own mental health, I can't sacrifice doing like a little one-off show at this point. And I guess the whole point of bringing it up is again, just to kind of reiterate how weird that is for me. Like, again, like 10 years ago, I would drop everything, take a day off of work to do a show like this. But now it's like, you know what? If I can spend an extra couple hours, if I can spend those extra couple hours making a piece that will impact one person's life versus possibly impacting 10 people's lives or something, whatever. Also, the last time I did the Art Night in person, I got like 2 or 3 like really underbids. So you put the price tag on your thing, and it was a bit late to the party, but they last time I did one that and now it gives you a QR code, and you can kind of put a bid in, because the event doesn't take money, with the exception of their own fundraising and selling T-shirts and things like that. But and this is also the event that I did. It's what introduced me to collaborative painting. I can't even remember. It might have been my mom that sent me the thing, like when she learned about the event, learned about things like, well, put your name in the hat. And past couple of years, it was like if you did collaborative painting before, your name was already in the hat. But this year they just didn't contact me. I guess probably because I haven't done the event in 2 years. And at first I was like, oh, well, it's a little sad, because I guess I've been out of the loop for a while. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I feel like it's probably somebody else's turn. I've had my limelight, and as much as fun as it's been, I think it's time to give, to pass that torch, so to speak. Because I'm, again, not the artist I was 10 years ago. But yeah, so I'm trying to think what I was saying now with this event, and like really wanting to do. I put it on my website as an event. It's probably going to get a strike through tomorrow, because again, I registered. The only thing I have that I really wanted to put in that was done by the time I registered was Immaculate Cascade. If anyone's been following the Instagram, which I finished last month. The one that actually would have probably been better to put in wasn't even done by the time I registered. So I couldn't put that piece in. And the problem is, like, you can't register twice, so I can't, like, go in and change what piece I put in. And I know the piece that... not only is the piece small, so I know it's going to blend in with the crowd, and nobody's going to give a shit. But it's also not one of my better ones. Like literally all of my better ones right now are at the gallery. It's just... For me, it's also a dual-edged sword, because I'm like, am I really putting all my eggs in the basket of taking stuff to the gallery? And if I am, is that actually starting to hinder my abilities as not abilities, but opportunities as an artist by doing that? I'm sorry, I'm telling like 3 stories in one here. This has got to be really annoying to listen to. I apologize. Because there was that. There's the thing or tonight rather that I've also. I don't know if I'm not a part of the thing tonight, because there were the vendors going, and like we have like 4 vendor spots open. My art manager, like I was like one of the first people that he messages about all of these events. He's like, hey, we have a thing. It's from 5 to 11. And I'm like, well, I get off work at 5 on Friday. Well, I get off work at on 5 every weekday. It's from 5 to 11 on Friday. Like, you want to do this? And I was like, I only get off work at 5. Like, the earliest I could be at this event, maybe 7:30 or 8 p.m. Maybe? And it's like, I would have to take the day, and I only have so much PTO time to take, and it's like... And there were 2 parts. There was the street vendor stuff, and then there was, I guess we have a spot where the other pieces are sold or displayed. And I was like, you've got the bulk of my new work. Pick something you like, put it in that part of that show. But I literally do not have time to attend to this. And again, like Art All Night, like this thing is, like a couple of years ago, I would have dropped everything to do this. And now it's like, there will be other events. Like this is like also it's April. Like this is literally the cusp of the beginning of the art vending and selling sales and everything. So me denying myself these 2 shows is not going to make or break my year. In fact, if anything, knowing what, especially now leaning out of pandemic restrictions all over the country, it's like shows are coming back and things like that where I'm not worried about saying no to a show. But anyway, back to Art All Night. Yeah, like Art All Night was a staple for me for a long time, and when pandemic hit, it was really hard because that show, it's the last weekend in April, or one of the last weekends in April, third or fourth. It seems to vary depending on where Easter falls and everything like that. But it's one of those shows that got me in my early career, 10 years ago, breaking into stuff in the city. It's the stuff that got me going. Also, just realized as I've been dropping in some brushstrokes, I've not been painting for like 15 minutes. I should really stop ranting and paint, or rather, keep ranting and paint. But yeah, it's just weird to me thinking about it. Like, I'm gonna skip this. Like I registered the piece in, but I kind of don't give a shit as much. And I think that might be a little different if I was more desperate to show, more desperate to get a piece in the way I was more 10 years ago, and not harping on that. There's nothing wrong with that. Art All Night was a huge jumping off point. I met through the collaborative stuff, I met a bunch of artists that I'm still friends with today as a result. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is a level of do you rely on those shows or do you do them because they're fun? And if I had more time this weekend, if this weekend wasn't going to be 80 degrees both days and sunny and like no rain, and I didn't have a fuckload of gardening projects to do, yeah, I'd go for it because like there'd be nothing else going on. I mean, I appreciate that in the grand scheme of things, it's probably going to be one of the most attended Ardo nights ever, considering how warm it's going to be. I mean, I was doing those collaborative projects. I'm trying to think now. The first year was James Bristle, aka Earthworm. He runs a small art collective out of his basically. I don't know if he owns the place or if he rents it, but it's called Owl Hollow here in Pittsburgh. It's very new age mythology, religion kind of stuff. So I friends with the guy. I love the work he does, but at the same time, it's like not my thing. But as far as bringing creative people together, the dude's incredible. He's been doing it for years, and I really admire his ability to bring creative people together. God, I should probably interview that guy. Like seriously, the dude is amazing. So I did a thing with him the first year I did that, which would have been about 2013 or it's had to be 2013, I think. Maybe 2012. And he that guy was one of my big inserts into the Pittsburgh art community. Between that and stuff I was doing with the Night Gallery at the time and Cheryl Specht, but that's an artist that I owe a lot to, but kind of had a falling out with. But that's a story for another day. Yeah, James Russell was and is still probably one of the technically best technical skill artists I've seen in this city. At least those working in the urban gallery scene, because like there are technical skilled artists that don't even touch galleries because they have a clientele anyway. I've met, I think, at most maybe two of those artists over the years. After James, I think the next year was 3 years of Marlena, and Marlena, my God, like I'm still in awe of her as a creator, but as a collaborator, I think to this day probably my favorite collaborator because our styles are so radically different, but when we come together, it's like, yo, we're making some serious shit here. And then I guess it would be I think Wayland was the last year that I did a collab. A guy by the name of Wayland Gomez. He is a dancer and theater performer by trade. What that guy can do in terms of his physical performance to interpret story and to act on stage is another interview I should do someday. Like my God! But at the time he was kind of dabbling in painting. I don't know if he still does. I do remember I gifted him a half jar of Utrecht yellow ochre that I had lying around that I wasn't really using anymore. I'm like, here, take this. It's paint. Just go for it. And yeah, like, I guess that's kind of my only gripe this year is like, not that I was looking to be invited to do the collaborative thing, because again, being virtual and stuff, my name probably dropped off of that list, and I don't even know if the lady Jen that ran it back then is still. I don't even know her last name. I know her. She's Jen. If I saw her, I'm like, hey, it's Jen. But she kind of ran the whole collaborative thing, which is artists get together, collaborate, make a painting, and then the paintings gets auctioned off to help pay for the event because the event is huge and attracts like 10,000 people every year. But yeah, and then Waylon and I did a piece that we call Life Bulb, which I would say is probably my least impressive piece at Art All Night. Not, and I don't want to harp on anything that he did. I mean, he contributed quite a lot to that. Like, he was flipping through my sketchbook. I like this idea, and I'm like, really? It's a piece of shit. But yeah, we took that somewhere really incredible. Basically, a light bulb that's a terrarium that wires coming out. I think that piece might still be on my DeviantArt. But yeah, that's one of those, and that was like I'm pretty sure that was the last collab I did for Art All Night. And I think I had two years with James. That's right, James, Jim, Earthworm. I call him James because that's how he was introduced to me the first time. And I'm pretty sure every time we're together and I call him James, people around him are like, James? What the fuck? It's just like, I'm sorry, that's how I knew him the first time, so that's what's in my head. A lot of people just call him Earthworm. But Earthworm Jim. Oh shit, I just didn't realize like he's literally his Earthworm Jim. Also, that's a side tangent. I've got it lined up for my Twitch channel to play Earthworm Jim 2, which I haven't. Literally, it's a game I haven't touched in 15 years. I'm so goddamn excited. If I do anything tomorrow, it's going to be to stream that on Twitch sometime in the evening. Anyway, yeah, I did two things with Earthworm Jim, and then 3 with Marlena, and then 1 with Waylon, and I think I'm pretty sure that was the end of that. And the best year, I think, was in terms of temperature. I think this loop it back around. This is where we're trying to get to. The best year in terms of temperature was that first year with Bristle and Earthworm. James Bristle, Earthworm Jim. It makes me laugh. I have to send that to him. I think I've come across that thought before, but since I'm live, it's funnier now. Anyway, what's bugging me now is I can't for the life of me remember what the thing we did the second year was. Because the first year was like this big white moon in the background, and then blue radiated out, and I did this funny tree that kind of came out like this, and he did this figure laying in the thing. It was all silhouette, and then in the foreground it was like waterfalls and some fish jumping, which he did, which literally made the piece. But it's driving me insane because I could not for the life of me remember what that second piece we did was. I know there was a second one. I know we jumped again. And again, props to Jen, who at the time probably still does, but coordinated that event. She was able to like send me your work and send me an artist statement, and she was able to pair people that probably would have never worked together normally. And again, to this day, built me artistic friendships that I do not regret under any circumstance. Oh shit, did I work with Sage? Shit. A guy by the name of Robert Sage, his social media presences are Sage the Third. He does a lot of furry stuff. I know that might turn off some people, but I'm trying to remember if we had a collab. I don't think we did. I think we just met each other in passing through shows. But the guy's work is fucking incredible. Like, okay, some of the guy's work is fucking incredible. A lot of it, I think he just overthinks. Now I'm just shouting out all my art friends. But yeah, so that and the Marlena collabs, which there were 3 distinctively. I think. Or were there two? Crap. I don't know. I want to say that there was... I know I remember two. I feel like there's a third, though. There's a sunset one. There's the floral goddess one. Oh, yeah, there are three. So there's one with a floating island and a little girl and a girl holding a flower, which might have been the first one. Might. I say might because the other one was a sunset one with a lot of washy colors. She's also the artist that introduced me to what is this? Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold. Amazing color. She had it in fluid. I have it in fly flow, high flow. But she's the artist that got me to buy that color. And then the third year was I feel like the third year was the floating island. So sunset, floating island, flower girl piece, which had the frosted edge. I remember I did the frosted edge with the white spray paint. I cannot for the life of me remember what years were what. Like what was first, what was second? I don't know. But yeah, we collaborated for 3 years straight at Arnold Night, and that was, God, man, I gotta reach out to her because we gotta collab on a project like for real again. Like she's an incredible figure painter, but we both have sort of surreal tendencies and are able to jump between stuff. Like, my God, I want to collab with her again so bad. Because every piece we did together was to this day, and then this is coming up on maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Still somewhat the best work I've ever done, like by far. So yeah, that's one of the ones that's gonna come up again. So that and the Wailing with the life bulb. I can't remember the point I was trying to make. I've been literally ranting about Arnold Night for at least 45 minutes. I'm gonna have to time. I tell you what, I'm probably gonna time code this tomorrow as my studio work. But yeah, so long story short, very long story short. Arnold Night, I feel like at this point, is more nostalgic for me as a creator. By the way, this is a 101 proof whiskey Manhattan. So I've just been sipping on it so I don't go completely insane. Also, if I get completely drunk, I won't be able to paint anymore, so just kind of using it to stay loose. Anyhow, part of my not wanting to put the piece in again is not having the piece that I want to put in. I mean, I can put a piece in and go not for sale with it, and I've got at least 8 pieces that I would love to do that with, but it's all again non-juried, no fees or anything, which is one of the best things if you're just getting started. But there's also they don't take responsibility if somebody fucks your piece up. So anything I would love to put in as a not for sale piece, I would never ever want to do that with for the fact that for the sake of how many people come through that event. It's like one of the last ones I put in. The first year I put in a piece that sold like that. The next couple of years, it was like hit and miss. Oh shit! This is a story I think I was trying to get to 20 minutes ago. We've looped around the ADHD bandwagon. Yay! I remembered. Rare that I remember. Yeah, one of the last times I put one in. I don't know if it was the last time, but it was one of the last times. Like the first time I put one in, it was like immediate sales. Yes, there we go. The next couple of times it was, yeah, again, hit and miss. And then the last time I put one in, there were 3 bids. And all of them were like, I think the highest one was about $30 or $40 under my asking price. And to all of them, I was like, hey, I can see you're, not bidding literally the price of the piece, which is, tangent on a tangent here again. I priced my work really fucking low. Because one, I want to get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it, but like it's trash, but I want to get it into the hands of people who can afford it. So between artists and collectors, like literally everyone I've talked to that has a sense of price has told me you undervalue your work by like 3 times. And I'm like, yes, I know. I would rather it go to somebody who can afford it but loves the work rather than holding myself on a high horse and like, you have to pay me X amount of money. When I get people that underbid, not only is it unbelievably insulting to be like, well, I don't think you're worth that much. But if I'm able to in this situation, I will throw it right back in their face. So, yeah, the last one I remember doing, I put a piece in for I think maybe $200 or $250, and the highest bid I got was probably like $120. And to that person, like, I think it might have sent it to everybody because there's here are the people that bid on your piece. Here are their names. Here are their email addresses or whatever contact they put in. And I responded with like, hey, saw your bid, saw you were interested in the piece. This is the price of the painting. Like not like, hey, yeah, you won. Not like it was like, no, you underbid me by about $50 or $60. This is the price of the painting, or you can buy a print of it for $20. I did not get a response. They did not buy the painting. They did not buy a print. They just completely fucking ignored me. Or it went to their spam folder, which it could very well have done. But still, it was one of those things where I was like, if you're gonna, like, I'm already, like, really lowballing my prices. So for you to lowball me on top of that, go fuck yourself. Because, I mean, I calculate my prices by, a lot of factors. There's size, there's medium, and then there's, like, my biggest one is like usually complexity of design, which for a lot of people that would include, like, the amount of time you spent on the piece, but honestly, I have no idea how long I spend on pieces. I just sit down. I kind of treat it like, how many painting sessions was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A painting session could be an hour. A painting session could be 8 hours. I don't know. I have no sense of time in that regard. But this video is going to get renamed. I talk a lot and paint a little. I just get so pissed with lowball offers. On things that I put nothing on. And again, very long story short. It's what is dissuading me from doing art on night this year. Is because, again, the last time I put a painting in, I didn't get a sale. I got like 4 lowball offers, and nobody willing to actually put up the money to pay for, at the very least, like twice minimum wage. it's like you have to at least pay for the labor involved, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So I sit on a large back catalog of inventory as a result. And it's a mixed bag. You gotta call it where you need to as an artist. Like, if you're willing to sell your 12-hour work for a price that is literally 2 hours of labor, I mean, good on you. Great, take the money if you're desperate enough for it. But after 10 years in the professional market, I can say that for people that are like, I'll give you $20 for that, I'll say, go fuck yourself and have a nice day. And I was actually having this mental dream state fantasy the other night about somebody saying to me, I don't think your work is that good. I don't think it's worth paying that much for. And whether that be in person, on voicemail, or on text, I'm kind of hoping, unfortunately, I guess you might say, that somebody tells me that this year. Considering what I've sold and what I've sold in the past couple of years, I know someone's. It's like I don't claim to be any incredible artist. I'm just a guy who paints stuff and occasionally makes something that somebody likes and likes a lot. So I mean, I have my repertoire. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. I know I'm not amazing. But when somebody, like, I guess, to say it bluntly, calls me on my own bullshit, I'm not mad, but at the same time, it's like, if I've sold a piece for $300 and the same size, the same workload, the same level of discipline kind of piece, someone's like, yeah, I think it's only worth $50 or $60. I don't know about you, but I feel like I have every right to tear that person a new one. Like I'm so, like, I don't ever want to seem snobby as an artist, but it's like, if someone's willing to pay me $300, you don't get to bid me $60. It's like, go fuck yourself. And again, it's I feel like in a lot of ways it's the same level of the I'll pay you in exposure, or just because you get to work on this project, that should be enough. I shouldn't have to give you money. It's the same level of arrogance, and I'm not saying like, well, my work has sold for more, so I deserve it, like that level of arrogance. And I mean, yes and no. Some of it might be a little arrogant, but at the same time, it's like, well, if I have a clientele that's willing to pay me for bare minimum the cost of the canvas, the cost of the paint, and the cost of my labor, you don't get to quote me for $60. Like, no. So, between yard work, which I keep talking about, I still may record a vlog this weekend. Just won't be uploaded as this week's video. Like, what's the point of this? This was supposed to be this week's video. Again, and also, I didn't plan this to be this week's video. I'm sorry that this is what this is. But all I'm going to want to do this weekend is work outside because it's nice. And as soon as it gets too hot, I'm going to come inside, I'm going to play Earthworm Jim, and I'm going to stream on Twitch. I'm not abandoning my YouTube stuff. I'm not abandoning painting because, well, obviously I'm sitting here doing this tonight. But like Twitch is just me sitting down and playing games. Something like this, while yeah, I'm semi-active in you guys and trying to watch chat up. Oh shit! I got comments. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention. Like, I don't have to think about Twitch. This is both work and it's play. But like when I'm doing stuff on Twitch, like it's just play. Like it's just hit record and have fun. So it's really hard for me to, especially now, to do like live art stuff. It's like it's the performance of live, but it's also I have to get shit done. I don't have to get shit done. Like all of what I do artistically is me playing. But this level of play involves thought and mindset and skill set. I'm not saying that games don't, depending on the game you're playing, but games are a form of relaxation. And okay, fuck it, I can't say that either, because painting is a form of relaxation too. I tell you what, it's mental. For me, it's mental thought. Like I have to think about this. Games I don't have to think about. Games are a total de-stress for me. The same way to some degree movies and books are for other people. But painting, while relaxing, by all means, but to some degree, something I don't always have to think about. Still involves a skill set that. Excuse me, I'm burping up a storm here. Involves a skill set that requires attention more than games do, or not that more than games do, but differently than games do. I have to keep referring. Like it's a completely different. It's a different mindset. That's all I should say here. Is it's a different mindset. The painting mindset. I have to be here in this presence, and for a game I have to be in that presence. But I can be in that presence and also be allowed to be distracted in other ways. Also, you're going to hear it here first, and I know there's probably only at most 10 people that have watched or will have watched this far into this stream, or at least into the video of this stream to know this. Last year I did a video about my art journey with ADHD. I had no intention of that video going further than it did beyond sharing an experience, but between what you guys have shared through that, as well as what I've experienced in the past year, that video is getting a part 2 in about 2 weeks, I guess it would be. I'm going on vacation. I'm going out of town for the first time actually I'm leaving the state for the first time in about 6 or 7 years, I think. Well, okay, I'm not going to think about that because that'll tangent this further than it needs to. But I'm going both out of town and out of state for the first time in a very long time. Much looking forward to it, but also recognizing that I need to keep my schedule. So the video that's going to go up that week, I'm going to upload like Wednesday. It'll go live Friday or Saturday. And what I want to talk about that week, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, also weirdly enough, I want to kind of talk to the HR lady at work, because I kind of want to, I don't want so much be an advocate for Mental Health Awareness Month, but I know a lot of people treat those monthly emails like, yeah, whatever the fuck ever. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a follow up to last year's video on that, which came out around, I think, similar April-May time, which totally unintentional. I didn't even know May was Mental Health Awareness Month until probably about 6 months ago. This has got to be a Mental Health Awareness Month, right? Yeah. Okay. and it's a yeah, matter of one, talking about it again, talking about what I've learned, but I want to make it constructive to for other people, because especially with all the people that have come to subscribers or otherwise come in comments from that from last year's video. I want to bring something to the table that is more than just oh, hello. Well, that went fucking everywhere, didn't it? Okay. Sorry. Dropped the brush and made a mess of the canvas. I want to make a video that's both about my experience, but also about, like, again, shot in the dark here with this stuff, but a lot of the ADHD stuff I've followed in the past year has been like, well, this is my life, and this, and then and I got treated, then I got put on medication, and now everything's so much better. And I'm not against medication, but I mean, if I'm fucking 32, I'm able to function. Granted, my case of ADHD is less severe than other people, but I want to be able to say, like, you don't need to be put on pills to do stuff like this. You just need to get your shit together, which might be harder. Like, again, I recognize that might be harder to say, harder for other people than it is for me. But I really want to make that video because I want to highlight stuff that, like, and I've been thinking about it for a while. Like what do I do that I've learned to do, and in many ways not realize that what I'm doing are coping mechanisms. And I kind of want to stress that more in that video when I hopefully get around to make it in the next 2 weeks. Is there's a lot you can do for yourself that you don't need pills to do for you. And I'll talk about the medication stuff more in that video, but I don't want people to think that, like, you don't need to seek help and you can do everything on your own, because you totally can't do everything on your own. I've relied on a lot of friends lately to in the past year to really help me along in that sense, but I fucked up on this. This count, every other cloud in this got this dark treatment that I pushed all that up into the sky with. This one I forgot to do it with, which I will have to do sometime this weekend. Anyway, the ADHD stuff. I want to touch back on it. I want to really do a deep dive on how I cope with stuff, because I spent the time thinking about, like, what do I do on a daily basis that is both a ADHD strategy, non-medicated strategy, as well as a coping mechanism for it. I should say healthy coping mechanism for it, because there's a lot of very unhealthy coping mechanisms, and those things are not okay, and I don't encourage them. But you gotta live your life and do what you do. But yeah. So when I do my follow up, it's gonna be emotional in a different way, and I really want to share my experience in ways that I think will help people beyond just, like, I get up and I take my pills every day, because I think it's okay. You can have a balanced lifestyle if you're able to really pursue it that way. It can be crippling, but I would say it's only crippling if you don't find yourself outlets to utilize it. And I should look at comments, because I think I brought that up 10 minutes ago. I completely forgot about it. Welcome to ADHD. Welcome to Mental Health Awareness Month. Alright, so I'm actually going to look in, because I just finished these clouds, which was my goal tonight. Finish the damn clouds. Actually, hold on a minute. I missed a spot. This one. Here. And here. And now we're good. With the exception of this one, which I have to fix with a dark color later, which I'm not fucking doing tonight. Yeah. So, worst case scenario, all I do this weekend is finish this painting, but I'm okay with that too. So yeah, let me have a look at comments. Yeah, that and simulation and my feed is glitching. Yeah, I can't remember if I was live when I talked about that, but my webcam is 10 years old. I need a new one. I can spend $120 at the art store, but I can't spend $50 on a new webcam. I'm sorry. What's weird is it only does it down here when I'm up when I'm up in my office. On my newer machine, it doesn't do it. But also, to be fair, my office machine, I'm running natively. I'm running like 2 different USB extensions down here just to get everything to work right. But yeah. So outside of this, I should talk more studio stuff since I'm here. I should use my instant brush cleaner on this since I don't plan on going to the sink tonight. Also, the next, it's going to be a quick tip, possibly. I don't know. Actually, probably it's not going to be a quick tip. I'll talk about it for 10 minutes, knowing me. I want to talk about how my favorite acrylic brush is not an acrylic brush. Almost gave it away in this video. I'm not going to do that. Also, I took my last bit of cad yellow medium in the jar that I've had it in for at least 5 years. Actually, no. It's got to be at least 6 years because I think I moved with this jar. For a while, I was moving a lot of my paint colors to jars, and I did do that with my Mars Black as well as my Titanium White, actually quite a long time ago. But the cad yellow medium I actually took back to a 2-ounce tube some time ago. Bought the 2-ounce tube, I think it's got to be at least 6 or 8 months ago. But I was like, well, when this is gone, then I'll have the tube. And I'm like, well, not 2 ounce. Did I say 2-ounce tube? This is an 5-ounce tube. What's the milliliters? 150 mils for my international viewers. When I say international viewers, I mean just literally anyone not from the U.S. because nobody else uses Imperial. 150 mil tube. I went for the big one because I still use a lot of cad yellow medium. It's actually acrylic-wise, it's the only 5-ouncer tube that I've got. Everything else is a 2-ouncer tube. 2 ounces. What's 2 ounces? 59 mils. Because I bought the jar a long time ago thinking, I'll use a ton of cad yellow. And as soon as I bought the jar, I quit using cad yellow because I started using other viscosity stuff. I started using high flows and inks and the opens more. So over the past couple of days, I've been making basically a fluid, somewhere between a fluid and a liquid cad yellow medium. So part of the reason with switching out was by the time you have like a little blob at the bottom of your jar, at least a jar of this size, which is a pint, which is, what's a pint in metric? I don't know. Does it tell me? 16 fluid ounces. I bet I can, hold on, wait a minute. Can I, this is 16, it's an 8. That's a 4. A 4 is 118 mils times, what, 16.4? I don't know. Whatever 118 is times 4. So I put in with what, okay, yeah, so there's a little blob left, and the blob at the bottom was starting to dry because there's enough air in a 16-ounce jar to dry the paint at the bottom. So I added a whole crap load of water, some Golden Wedding Agent, also previously known as shit. What was it previously known as? Wait a minute. Last some of that surface prep something or other. Flow release. That's what it used to be called. Flow release. Now called Wedding Agent. So some of that and a decent, like 2 or 3 squirts of the GAC 100. So that plus some water with the residual paint is making a thin fluid thing. I'm letting it sit because I want some of that water to evaporate, but I don't want it to totally die. So my goal at this, when it's down to a consistency I'm happy with, viscosity I'm happy with. Consistency and viscosity are not strictly the same thing. Take the advice from my own. I made a video like, is viscosity consistency? No, but most artists and paint companies use the term consistency to mean viscosity, and it's not the same thing. But anyway, I'm catching myself doing it. So I'm gonna let this sit probably for another couple of days, at most 1 or 2, because it's already pretty close. Also, like every time I shake it, it foams up. So you gotta let it sit for 6 hours so the foam dissipates. But this is gonna go in hopefully some container or jar that I have floating around. I think I've got a. What is this down here? Okay. I've got an old. This is when it used to be called Flow Release. This was the Wedding Agent when it was still called Flow Release. I've got this topper. One of these toppers used to be on this jar of hot sauce that I cleaned out. So I'm probably going to swap these caps and then put that in here, which is a 6 fluid. Okay, 6 fluid ounces is 177. Oh, I can't do math. I cannot do math normally, but I'm not doing math right this second. So hopefully I'll be able to funnel that into both this and this, or I'm hoping it's just this because I don't know how much liquid I'm going to have left. And then have basically a bottle of liquid cad yellow medium pure to use in my studio. That's the goal. That's the goal. Is it going to work? Well, the last time I did this, I actually made, and I still have some of it. This is my second jar of this stuff. The first jar I used to refill a jar of ink. And I would do this again for a video, but I have no idea how I did this the first time. And I'm pissed at myself. But I literally made a fake Liquitex ink out of the last jar of one of these that I had. And it's literally perfect ink, short of some foaming bubbles. And I'm so mad at myself that I have no idea what I did to make this. So the best I can do is try to replicate it and make a fluid paint out of it or something of that nature. I don't know. But yeah, that's where I'm sitting with current studio projects. I've got that. I'm trying to line up the next project after this guy. I've got the big poured paint thing that I did last studio vlog, which I don't have, at this point, don't have enough cord to reach over there. I don't know why I didn't buy the wireless headset last time that I was buying my headsets. Didn't want to spend the extra $50 as usual. But I'll spend the extra $50 on 3 tubes of paint. So there's that. There's 6 billion other projects I'm thinking on. But I kind of want to wrap it up for tonight. I'm kind of leaning in. I really want to jump into my my gaming community tonight if anybody's online. So this is where I'm leaving you guys. This is all the stuff I'm doing. Mostly this, but 6 billion other Splinter projects. I'm probably going to record hopefully for the next couple of weeks this weekend. I don't know. Whatever you guys see for me in the next 3 weeks was probably recorded this past weekend. Or the next one coming. So, thanks guys for checking me out live. I know some of you probably will be jumping back and forth on this later this weekend. But, coming up on an hour, so that's good. Thanks guys for watching. Keep on creating. This has been from Cinder Studios, and I will see you guys next time. Oh yeah, check me out on socials. the slightly more completed version of this will be up on Instagram. Also, community Discord and other stuff.